There are a lot of evil people in Honkai Star Rail, and they are all from the IPC. So far, I've talked about the girl groomed to do evil things, the guy forced to do evil things, and the woman who does evil things for the love of the game. But there is a guy that puts Jade, aka Satan with a pimp hat, to shame. Compared to this monster, Jade is but a mere imp. Because what if I told you that there is a guy from the IPC with a body count in the millions? A man that is so diabolically sadistic and heartless that he caused a genocide not once, but twice. In this series, I've always said that it gets worse. And as the third video in this series, it will be the worst. 2 days ago, I put out a poll saying who was the most evil person in the IPC, and approximately 38% of you are wrong. You see, Jade is an evil person. She dangled the cure over a terminally ill girl's head, but told her if she wanted it, she would have to sell out her only companions. She also groomed Topaz, and she even runs a small business just to ruin more lives for fun. But she is not Oswaldo Schneider. Now, I'm sure some of you are like, who is Oswaldo Schneider? Oh, you don't want to know, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Because this is the single most insidious IPC member revealed. The truth is, you already know who this guy is. You are very familiar with this disgusting individual. You know why? Because this guy is so evil that he managed to transcend gameplay and break the fourth wall to hurt us in real life. And we didn't even know it. Look at this. You know what this is. This is the curio called Cosmic Big Lotto. And you know exactly what this does. And you know how often this curio has ruined your simulated universe runs. You know the situation. You just happen to pick up this curio and it breaks on the last breakable HP refill, leaving your entire team at 1% HP. So you fail right at the final boss and you can't do anything about it. Yeah, you have Oswaldo Schneider to thank for that, because he operates it. That is the type of guy we are dealing with here. He isn't even real, but he can hurt us. And he has hurt us. But it gets worse, because truth be told, I hid a few things from you. Okay, so first things first, we need to do a little bit of backtracking to something I talked about in the first video. You see, when I explained Aventurine's backstory, I left out a few key details that I need to fill you guys in on. Long story short, Aventurine, aka Kakavasha, was an Avgin raised on Sigonia 4, a primitive world with many warring tribes, with the Catechins and Avgins having the most heated rivalry. So the IPC showed up and initiated Sigonian sovereignty to unify all the clans, but at the same time banished the Catechins and the Avgins to the desert, which only made the hatred worse. So the much stronger Catechins hatched a plan to exterminate the entire Avgin clan. But since they were in close proximity to the Avgins, they heard about the plot and begged the IPC Men in Black to save their lives. And the IPC agreed, only to never show up, selling them false hope as they fell to the cruel and merciless Catechins. With little Kakavasha fleeing for his life as the lone survivor, only to be kidnapped and trafficked into slavery right under the IPC's noses. But he managed to free himself, only to be put on trial for murder because he killed the man that tortured and enslaved him. And no matter how many times I explain this, it still shocks me that this is canon. But what is even more shocking is that there was a man behind the slaughter. There was a puppet master pulling the strings of this entire tragedy. There was, in fact, a wizard hidden behind the curtain orchestrating this entire chain of events. And his name is Oswaldo Schneider. Because I attributed the racism and prejudice brought on by the Sigonian Sovereignty Project to the IPC, I didn't explain who was at the head of this grand scheme. Oswaldo let the racism happen. It was under his watch that the 6,728 Abjans died with 3,452 missing. And it was because of him that the human trafficking took place. And he didn't care. This was a job well done for him. And this was just one of his first projects. And even this deplorable act pales in comparison to what happened to Aragon Efartial, which just happens to be Boot Hill's homeworld. You see, when the IPC wants something that doesn't belong to them, they don't always trump up charges, lie, cheat, and steal. No, sometimes instead of allowing genocide, they are the ones doing the killing. Because Boot Hill's homeworld was rich in a black ore the IPC was just dying to get their hands on. But this ore didn't belong to them, and this particular planet didn't have ties to the IPC, so they couldn't just claim or debt trap them. In comes Oswaldo, who without hesitation decides to do the unthinkable. He permitted his crew to utilize military force on the helpless civilians of the planet and promised to give an award to the first person who acquired the ore. And mind you, Oswaldo's rank is higher than Jade's. Jade is P46. Oswaldo is P47. So by crew, I mean armada, which resulted in a planet-wide annihilation that would make Nanook himself jealous. And they spared no one. Not even women and children were safe from this carnage. They carpet bombed everyone. Thus, an entire well-populated planet was reduced to a shrinking reservation of battered survivors. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this was somehow worse than genocide or slavery. This was both of them combined. This was colonization. And Oswaldo didn't bat an eye. He simply rewarded his crew of serial killers and covered up the whole ordeal. So I guess you are wondering, what did they even need this black ore so much for anyway? What could they possibly need this for to make this all worth it? You aren't ready for the answer. They use it to make super weapons for their transport ships that they still use today. All of this demonic cruelty and violence just to fuel more cruelty and violence. It doesn't get any worse than this. Because this is the single most insidious IPC member revealed. This man has caused endless suffering for innocent people across galaxies. This man is so treacherous that he can hurt us in real life. This man is still out there, and his name is Oswaldo Schneider. And I sincerely hope that we get to kill him. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.